I normally give it a little bit of time for the audio to settle down, but we're just going to jump into it and see what we have. I've cut the audio. Oh, I've cut my music off short. Oh my gosh, I hate doing that. Let's go back a bit and just see if we can get that back. Why is that not working? Oh dear, what have I done? What have I done? It's always something. Yeah, that's it. Not that one, this one. Oh, so annoying. When I change scenes, I've set it up for the older system where it'll blank out music. I'm tired and so I'm not thinking straight and I can't get all the buttons right still. So we'll let that play out a little bit in the background while we make sure that all the audio is syncing up nicely. What do you think of the voice? Is it good? Do you like it with the voice that is over the USB, the Rode, what do I call it? The Rode pod mic. This one is the USB with the XLR input as well. Yeah, I like it. It sounds good, I think. I think the audio should have been settled down now. There should be enough time gone where the stream is behaving itself. So let's let me go over to my notes so that I can make sure that I'm doing everything that I wanted to do here. What I've done is I've done a bit of planning again, and so I'm going to revert to my plan as opposed to winging it. Winging it, which is what I normally do. Wing it. Now, today is actually the 22nd of July. So I'm going to update the date that I've got here on my mind map, telling me that it's actually the 15th. It is not. It's 22nd. There we go. All right. Referring to my notes, it says here, Quick and Dirty Tuesday. Welcome to the Quick and Dirty Tuesday. For the guy, Andrew the Guy Harris channel. I did a little bit of research on how to get some stories planned out so that the YouTube movies would kind of work a lot better. In theory, we'll see. So one of the things that this chap that I referred to for getting story ideas. No, Siri, stop the music. That is crazy. I hate how Siri does that. Yeah, so this guy that I have discovered, let's say, his name is Tim. Let's have a look. I want to show you where the other. Yeah, over this way. Here we go. So on this screen, we should be able to see. Why can't we see? There he is. This guy, Tim Roonier. I'm a little bit out of sequence already, but I jumped into this the storytelling technique thing. This video here, storytelling made easy or made simple. This guy, Tim Roonier, he's got a newsletter. I've subscribed to his newsletter. He's been on the internet, on the YouTube, only for a little while. He's only got 16 videos, but he's got 21,000 subscribers already. And I think he's been around on YouTube for, a little while, 2015. Okay. So he's been on the YouTubes for a bit, and he's a bit of a movie maker. So, so he had this story outline, which I'm going to kind of talk about over here. And this outline basically has 5 questions. And the big one is the situation, the context. What is the situation's starting point? And for me, making a live video on a Tuesday, that is my context, that is my starting point. I want to make a video on a Tuesday, and we're going to break down his 5 questions in the context of making this video. So in my intro, I've told myself, make sure you smile and say hello. So you like my fake smile? Hello. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And there's one more camera over there. I think hello. Hello and welcome. So I'm glad that you're here. Smile and say hello. Done. Welcome. It's the Quick and Dirty Tuesday. Yeah, it is the Quick and Dirty Tuesday. It's a little bit later than normal. I had a bit of a problem this morning. Signab arranged for me to work today, and I got my alarm times totally screwed up. I normally start work on what is it? Today's Tuesday, yeah, of course, because it's a Quick and Dirty Tuesday. I normally start work at 5 a.m. For some reason, I set the alarm for 4:45. Like, there's no way enough time to get ready. And I started making my 3 boiled eggs for breakfast and 3 slices of toast and 2 coffees. And I was halfway through my boiled eggs and toast and coffees when my wife, Elizabeth, came to the kitchen and said, shouldn't you be at work now? And I looked up at the clock and I thought, no, I've got plenty of time. I'm leaving at 5:30. And it didn't even dawn on me that it's like after 5, I've got to start at 5. So I was half an hour late. I got a phone call just as Elizabeth reminded me it's time to work. I got a phone call from work and they asked me when you're coming in. So 15 minutes later, I was there at work. Anyway, there you go. That's what happened this morning, and that's why I'm super tired. I went. There's a lot of things going on, and I haven't got much sleep in the last couple of days, and that made it worse. So yeah, I'm going to ramble a little bit, I can tell. Let's get back on track here. Making a live video on a Tuesday is the premise situation. The desire. The next question is the desire. What does or what do the characters or what does the character want? And me in this Tuesday's little quick and dirty is I want answers to the following questions. How is the YouTube channel going? Okay, if you look at my channel, let's have a look here. We get some cold, hard data. View your channel. This is the channel. Look at this guy's channel, and then you look at my channel. It's not too bad. So look, for me, I started this channel. He started in 2015. I started this channel in 2018. So 3 years later, he's got many, many more followers, and it's because he's following a plan. And finally, I think I'm going to be doing the same thing. What's happening with the channel? Basically, a couple of things. So here's what's going on. I'm watching that guy, Tim Roonier, who you just saw, and I'm also watching more and more videos from this guy, Evan Monsma. He's an American, whereas Tim Roonier, I think he's in the UK or Europe or somewhere there. This guy is a bit of a Casey Neistat, and a little bit like me in terms of getting a workspace totally organized the way he likes it. So he does things like I do. Like can you see in the background? I think you can. That bookshelf over there. I set all that up, and actually you can't see it. Let me put it back over here. Let's go even wider. Is it this one? No. Why can't I get? There we go. So in the background, you can see the edge of it there. I made a bookshelf, and the bookshelf is basically. There you go. That might be oh God, look how mochly that is. So over that way, I've got a bookshelf on that wall. The entire wall over there is full of books and bits and pieces and paraphernalia. And the guy that we're looking at here, Evan, he's done a similar thing with his little office area, set up little nooks and crannies for stuff to be stored. So he's also someone like me who doesn't like just buying new stuff. I'd rather make use of what I've got and mash things together to make something unique and new, and really, I don't know, individual, something I can say which is mine, or I designed something to make it perform the way that I wanted to make it perform. If that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm kind of inspired a bit by this guy and the way that he operates, but he does work not only on his office, but his car. God, anything that he owns, he kind of modifies and junks around with it, mostly bending metal and making wood fit in with electronics and things like that. So it's kind of a lot rougher and ready than what I would like to do. But at the end of the day, it's probably not much different. But his is a much more rough and ready approach, and it mostly works, but I think it leads to more and more problems. Anyway, have a look at his channel. It's really interesting, put it that way. If I go back to my mind map and where we're up to here, so I've explained YouTube a degree, what's happening with that. I'm watching a lot of YouTube lately, and I'm getting inspired to make movies and try and make movies make more sense, as opposed to just getting a camera and then filming something, which I honestly love doing. Like, that's, for me, is just so much fun. Photographing, I guess, is what comes under that heading to a degree as well, where you just kind of bum around and make photos because that's what you like to do. That's what I like to do. So yeah, good fun. So I'm watching inspirational movies and people that motivate me to become a better movie maker. That's what I'm watching on YouTube. Okay. One thing I've noticed though is I think there's a lot of loneliness in the world. There's a lot of people out there who, even though we've got mobile phones and telecommunications and technology which lets us hook in and meet up with literally whoever we would like to meet up with, we could do it a lot more. It's achievable, let's say. It's achievable. You could do it, but a lot of people probably wouldn't pick up the phone if I were to call them out of the blue, not knowing who I was or anything like that. Vice versa, if someone called me and I didn't know who they were, I'm probably not going to answer the phone. But if there was a different context where it was more appropriate to make a call or whatever, you can go about that in an appropriate way. Whereas in centuries in the past, we just had no way of communicating with each other the way that we can instantaneously now, like around the world. For example, my brother is on a plane right now. I know this because I got in contact with my mum who lives 3.5 hours away, and she told me that he's on a plane coming from Ireland back to Australia. And I've been chatting with him, but that didn't come up, which is really interesting. So we send each other memes and things rather than talk about deep and meaningful things. So yeah, it's funny to get that news from my mum here in Australia, but 3 hours away that my brother's coming back he's on a plane right now. It's just, I don't know. That kind of stuff is intriguing to me. And that's the kind of thing I'm alluding to, where people get kind of disconnected or not making a human enough connection so that their loneliness is dealt with, like so that they've got that human connection happening in their life. And I think that's becoming worse and worse. And I think there's an explanation as to why YouTube or social media platforms are so popular, and it's because I think because people are wanting that honest connection, and it's really hard to get a connection that is meaningful. Yeah, and satisfying, I guess, might be another word for it. A satisfying connection with people that you would like to have, like friends. I think there's a lot of people who don't have a great deal of friends, basically, yeah. And so that, in my mind, explains why people are feeling a little bit lonely, because I think they can see what friendships are on offer in social media, and they're kind of excluded from that because it's not appropriate for them to reach out and say hello, because you may not know these people and you don't want to really take a risk on someone that you've never met before in the entire world, so you probably don't go out of your way to make them feel welcome, and so they're feeling even more isolated. It's something like that, I guess, is what I'm thinking is going on. And so because people don't have the connections that they would like to have, and they kind of can see that they're within arm's reach but can't quite get it, they go to things like YouTube and vicariously live in other people's spaces and kind of try to bridge that gap of loneliness in connecting with people in social media forums. I'm not saying everyone does this, but probably a significant number of people might be doing that. And it kind of highlights that human connection desire. And if it's not there, it's not being satiated, then people get lonely. And I think that's more common than what I'm able to communicate. I can't really put it in words what I'm trying to say properly, but I think there's a lot of lonely people, and social media is a way for people to try to become less lonely. But it kind of highlights how lonely they are because they're not making the connection in the way they'd like, because it's social media. It's not real friendship. Yeah, so I think that's what's going on, and that's, I think, is what is leaning towards more authentic people on the internet making an attempt to bridge that gap, but again, not being face to face in real life. Like we're talking through a camera, so it's like it's like they're again in a situation where it's not quite the real deal, but it's really close, and they like that. So they want to try and get more of that in their life. So they'll tune into more and more channels that offer that kind of almost friendship. Yeah. So and charismatic people on YouTube, obviously have that appeal in bucket loads. So there's lots of people on the YouTube platform that will have a lot of followers who I think are wanting to make a connection, and it's like almost being there but not quite getting it all the time. So it's like not an addiction, but it's similar to that, where people just are just wanting to not be lonely anymore. So the channels where people are being a bit more real, a bit more authentic, they've got lots and lots of followers, and I think they're tapping into that kind of a human need. Yeah. So that's why I'm spending time on YouTube, because I want to try and bridge that gap to a degree myself as well, where like helping people understand that social media is not the same as a real friendship, but it's still helpful. Like it's not a bad thing completely. It's like it lets people know that there is friendship available. It's just that you're getting a taste of it. You're not getting the real thing on social media. You're better off getting it in real life, joining clubs, doing things with other people that you find interesting. So it could be getting a motorbike, going on motorbike rides, could be driving a car, could be walking in the bush, could be surfing, could be skateboarding, whatever it is, squash, tennis, running, cycling, whatever it might be. There's something out there that you are interested in that others will be interested in as well, and you'll develop friendships that way. Yeah. But I think that's what's happening. So people are recognizing that we're all busy. We want more connections, and we can get it to a degree online. And more and more people are doing that online. So I get sucked into that too. So these guys, I find them entertaining and good fun, so I watch them. But I also pick up that I think there's more and more YouTubers who are making videos and returning back to the roots of YouTube, which is doing more vlogs. The live streaming is really, really, really popular. So doing what I'm doing right now, but probably better, and making connections with people. So reminds me, I just want to go and check to make sure that no one is trying to chat with me and I'm ignoring them. No, that's cool. All right. So that's what's going on there. With the YouTube, because what I want to try and do is be similar to that. So I got a note here about hitting record and uploading authentic, real, warts and all, imperfect, awkward, honest videos. I think there's more and more people who want that as opposed to the polished, almost Hollywood produced, really, professional type of show, if you like. I think they're popular, but I think people really want that warts and all authentic connection, and especially with something different to this kind of a forum where we are here right now. I'm in my shack and there's nothing else going on out in the world, because I did a live stream using my mobile phone outside of McDonald's at Neutral Bay, and I got so many people that jumped on and wanted to chat. Like there were 4 or 5 people that were watching at the one time, and 2 of them were interacting with me like in real time. So I don't know whether it's YouTube's serving up that type of content to these kind of people, or whether they were just hunting around and discovered it. I don't know how they got a hold of that live stream. It was literally for about 15 minutes, something like at the most. And literally within like a minute or 2, they joined in the conversation because they could see that I was outside in my car. It was raining in front of McDonald's. There were lights and there were people walking around, all kinds of stuff going on. And I think that was a lot more interesting than what this is. This is a talking head, and it's not a really good talking head right now. But anyway, my point is that people want that warts and all, imperfect, awkward, real life kind of interaction as opposed to a highly polished video from YouTube. I think we want highly polished movies, but YouTube and these kind of webcam type shows, if you like, I think people want those to be more warts and all real, with real live opinions. So that's what I'll be trying to do with this going forward. Yeah, but having said that, like, it is maturing. Like, YouTube back in the day, 2005, when it first started, was literally really poor quality video uploaded with really bad audio and really bad actors and just really, awkward plus stuff. But it was still, at that time, brand new. We never had that kind of a thing before. Facebook was trying to do that, but it wasn't the same thing. YouTube was just groundbreaking. It still is. So, yeah, I think that people kind of have that nostalgia for that old YouTube kind of format. But it is maturing because there's more and more really cool tools out there to let people do more and more polished shows, almost like a very well-oiled machine. But I still get back to that point where I think what's driving it is boredom and loneliness across the planet, like especially with the advent of mobile phones. All right, and so for YouTube, for me, what I want to try and do is release more original music and start releasing original movies and episodic kind of series shows. So I've got some ideas in my mind, but God, it's gonna be a massive leap because it's going to be something completely different from what we're doing here. It'll be scripted. It'll be it won't be live. It's all going to be kind of pre-recorded and then shown. But yeah, I'd really like to experiment with that. I've got a few movie making buddies, and I've shared some ideas with them, and yeah, so far it's getting interest. Let's say the ideas I've got, but nothing has been made yet. I've got a script, but I haven't got it to a point where it'll be workable. So that's the kind of medium long-term planning for the YouTube channel here. I'll still do these because I enjoy this kind of banter from my side, if you like. I really enjoy hearing questions from people, so I'm just going to jump around and see if anyone wants to ask any questions or not, but not yet. That's cool. Okay, so why I'm watching YouTube more than any other video, TV, DVD format service. I'm watching YouTube. I don't know about you guys, but for me, YouTube is. I don't watch anything else anymore. I actually haven't watched TV in like a year or longer. Like the last time I turned the TV on was to actually get the Vimeo app up and running so I could watch a movie that I helped do sound on, which is on Vimeo, and I showed Poppy, my daughter. And that's the only time I turn the TV on. If I'm at home alone, I'll just get YouTube on my phone and then stream that over to the TV to watch YouTube on the big screen. I haven't watched a TV show in ages. I haven't gone to the movies, I don't think, since the beginning of the year, which is like we're in July. Yeah, so 7 months ago was the last time I saw a movie. I'm watching literally everything on YouTube. I don't know why, but I really like it. I really love watching what people are doing and creating from all kinds, so highly polished through to really bedroom produced stuff. And it's giving me ideas for making movies as well. So seeing what other people do with cameras and what they do with audio and things like that's really, really quite interesting for me. So that's one of the other reasons that I'm spending a lot of time on YouTube. I just really love it. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first of a couple of questions I want answers to. Another question I want answers to is what's happening with the behind the scenes video guy. So behind the scenes video guy is basically me using that. Can you see? I'm gonna keep on forgetting which camera. I'm using this camera. Look at that. That thing. It's it's a bit of a step up from the camera that I normally use. The camera, I can't show it because that's the video camera we're actually capturing this on. This thing here, it produces video and does audio with 4 channels. So I got 4 microphones in this. And I took it up to the Blue Mountains to do some behind-the-scenes video with some guys who are making a cowboy movie in a pub. So we went to a pub, and they filmed a scene of 2 cowboys fighting in a bar. So they somehow hired out a bar and then scripted out the fight scene, and I was doing behind the scenes, capturing all the planning and all of the shooting and the recording and the actors working out what they're going to do. It's not in a position or a point where I can kind of share that. I want to make sure that I get permission from the guys to show that video, because some of it, yeah, it's just interesting to see how a movie is made and what goes on in the background, especially with the actors choreographing, how they're going to hit each other, where they're going to fall, how it's going to roll, all kinds of things are going on. It was really, really good fun. So behind the scenes video guy has started. I've got my first shot on my first shoot under my belt, the cowboy. So I'll post more details about that so you can see what all that's about. But I want to get more of that work organized. So what I'm going to do is start working on my own movies. I've got an idea for a sci-fi travel, fix the past kind of a storyline. And I've got another idea for actually episodes of behind the scenes of making movies, pretty much what I've done that first shoot on. So I'd like to make that an episodic kind of a series where we get different actors and different people coming in, and they're going to recreate the things that go on in the background where no one knows what's going on while a movie is being made. So you got smart-ass comments, you got jokes being played on each other, people stuffing up lines, equipment failing, all kinds of stuff going on in the background that no one's aware of. And as a soundie, people will say things that no one else on the crew can hear. Like, might have actors talking to each other, but they're mic'd up and I can hear what's going on. There's so much inappropriate, so much funny stuff that goes on that there's just a stack of material. And that's just from my side as a soundie working for 2 years. There are people that have been working in the industry for like decades. They have got so many funny stories. So I really want to see if I can recreate those funny stories. We can't obviously film what's going on in real life because a lot of this stuff is really embarrassing. So yeah, but we can act it out. So that's what it's going to be, scripted, of course. So, but it's going to be acted, hopefully, really well. Oh yeah, and I've got. It's funny, with this camera here, the XF605, the big beast I just showed then. It's got the same thread on the front lens as the old XA10, the one that I'm pointing at right now. That one right now I'm pointing at has got a very wide view attachment. It's a screw-on lens basically that makes it a wide-angle camera. That lens also fits on this new camera, and the difference in age between the two is like probably 10 years or something like that. But Canon kept the same dimensions and same fittings, so I can use that lens on both cameras now to make that a wider view. So that's an exciting thing for me. Again, pointing to, I don't want to just spend money needlessly. If I've got equipment that I can use on other gear, then it's really good. I love doing that to make a benefit. A bigger kind of man, I'm tired. I can't think straight. Utilizing stuff across different devices, basically. And I did get the bigger battery. So I only got one battery with that XF605, and it lasts maybe 2 hours. So I bought a bigger one from Amazon, and I was expecting to get that at the end of this month, but it came in yesterday. So I've now got 2 batteries, which is great. The memory card, unfortunately, in the camera that I bought aren't sufficiently fast enough to get for the highest quality video and audio. So I've got to order another memory card to make that available, so I can get some really, really good quality video happening. And I did find out what SD stands for. from last time we met. I couldn't remember what SD on the SDXC SD cards stands for. It's just secure digital. I don't know why my brain works that way, but I wanted to find out, okay, what does that mean? So, yeah, secure digital SD card. That's what's happening with behind the scenes video guy. What is happening with the sound guy? I'm updating my notes here so I don't duplicate anything I've done there. So what's happening with the sound guy is this, the sound guy. I was on a shoot. Oh my gosh. I destroyed a little bit of my equipment. So let's see if I can get that going. I want to show you what I've done. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let me see. No, I want to get the right input. There we go. I think that's it. Yeah. So, what's happened, unfortunately, when I was making a movie with some students at a school in Leichhardt Public School. It's called Photo Day, yeah, and it's basically got like 8 students that were the actors in it, and the producer, David, he wanted me to do sound for him, so we spent 3 days making the movie, and this is the boom pole that I normally use. It got snagged in a tree, and the XLR connector here basically broke off, and I couldn't use it anymore. On day 2 that happened. So I had to do a quick re-rig of the cable. I just wrapped a long cable around this pole and extended it out. So I still used the pole, but I couldn't use that internal connection because it's got a wire that goes from the tip of the pole out the bottom here where this XLR output is on the bottom of the pole. So I had to bypass that. So now I've got to figure out what end of that wire goes to which pin and resolder it together. So that was extremely annoying, but what can you do? Those things happen. So that's what's happened there, unfortunately. It is my kind of favorite pole because it's light, it's carbon fiber. It's probably, I think it's the second pole that I bought. I've got 2. The Marantz, it's weird. The Marantz was a stereo making company back in the 80s, and it's now morphed into something else where they make audio sound equipment, so boom poles and things like that. So yeah, the second one is just heavier and bigger, but it does extend a longer distance, so it's good to use as a secondary. But I like that one there. It's very small, compact, and light, so easy to whip around and get sound. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Got snagged, so I've got to fix it. I'll do, what's this? I'll do VTS videos of those. Oh yeah, so I did get some behind the scenes video of that shoot as well. Not a great deal because it gets so busy on set when you're recording. I don't get a chance to actually get a whole lot of video done. Even though I've got a really small behind the scenes camera, that Kodak camera is so good. I love it. It's so small and compact, I can just whip it out and take photos and videos. I've done it once or twice, but that shoot was extremely busy. So I did get a chance to do that. There is some video, but not a lot, so I'll post that a bit later. I've got a few more shoots booked in. So there's Leanne, who's doing a period kind of piece movie. She got us all down to Wallachia on Sunday last week, and I did audio for her movie as well. It's called Exile, and she hired a stagecoach with horses. So 2 horses were dragging this coach around, and the actors were inside the coach, and I had to record audio of all of that. That was super good fun. It was pretty much the whole day, 10 till about 4 o'clock. Yeah, so much fun. We got interrupted a few times by people asking what we're doing. We don't make too many movies out the southwest of Sydney that I've seen anyway, and so it was a bit of a novelty seeing people making a movie out at Wallachia. I was going to check to see if anyone is wanting to chat. make sure I'm keeping up with what's going on there. No, we're good. And I've still got a podcast to upload as well for the sound guy. So it's still going, but it's with Signub, with the BTS video guy, the sound guy is a little bit. It's not getting as much attention as I should give it. Let's put it that way. But it's still bubbling along. Yeah, I'm still keen on making the podcasts. So having fun with that. I just love, I love working with audio. It's so much fun. All right, let me get those notes out of the way. And then what are the music plans? I think I went through the music plans in last week's Quick and Dirty. It's pretty much the same thing. I've just got to get actual songs organised and then practice those and make them sound good. Been listening to Ren. Don't know if you know Ren, The Big Push. They're kind of not as popular anymore as they were, but they were quite big during COVID because they had a lot of live streams going on while everyone was stuck at home, and they became very popular. So Ren and The Big Push, they're buskers basically, but they went streaming over COVID, and it's kind of proven to me that it can be done. You can make some really good music, and kind of share that streaming rather than busking alone. Although I want to do both, but streaming is going to be so much fun. And then lastly, what's happening with Signub? Signub is bubbling along as well. So it's wintertime. There aren't too many people doing DIY projects at home. So the demand for workers to push products out is not there. So I'm not getting a lot of shifts. But it's good because I'm getting a lot more work in the movie world. So I'm not complaining. The money is not great at the moment because of that. But that's okay with me. Signub is just a Signub job. That's all it is. I'm just getting money from them. That's all it is. I did get a call today from an IT project management agency, though, and I called back 3 times, but they didn't pick up. So that's a good and bad sign. It was good that they left a message on my voicemail. That's a good sign. But when I called back, I was expecting to talk to someone, but they weren't there. So I'll call them tomorrow and see what's going on there. So that's what's happening with IT. So that's only the second question, by the way. It's this thing from Tim Roonier is 2 questions. So the first question was, what's the situation? The second question is, what's the desire for the character or characters? And then the third question is, what's the conflict? So this is where it's probably going to be a little bit more interesting, because the conflict for me is that there's not enough time and money to devote to YouTube right now. I would love to devote my entire time, effort, and energy into YouTube just to create, whether that's music or movies or just stories, whatever it is, to develop that, to have time to develop a way of knowing how to tell a really good story and make an emotional connection. That is the really, that's the most important part for me. I say that because movies in particular, but books also, and songs, but movies being visual and auditory, they really affect me. So Star Wars is a big one. Forrest Gump is a big one. Avatar is a big one. Interstellar is a big one. Those big theme movies, Contact is another one, where they integrate time, space, religion, science, the unknown, infinity, music, love, sex, all the things that we know of as life. I've always had a deep kind of philosophical discussion in my own head with myself around, what's our purpose in life? Is there a God? Are there aliens? Is there other life? How far is infinity? Where is the edge of the universe? What is it like? What's it like seeing Jupiter? You know, what what's it like walking on Mars? What's it like seeing the rings of Saturn? What is it like to travel at the speed of light? Can we go backwards in time? Can we go forwards in time? So Back to the Future is another one. All those questions have always been with me, and I've always been fascinated by that. And the thing that is limiting, I guess, understanding or expressing more than understanding, the thing that's limiting us as humans in expressing our ideas is literally now our imaginations. We can represent through music and visual kind of video work and animations and our voices and our words. We can produce something to share what we're thinking about or what ideas we want to talk about with others. And YouTube is the perfect vehicle for that. You just have to put in the effort to write out an idea, produce some kind of music or story or visual thing, and you can convey an emotion or a thought or a question to the entire planet. Blows my mind. Like that's and you can do that from your phone. Literally, you don't need cameras and all the other bits and pieces. You've got the camera in your phone. You've got the microphone in your phone. You've got all the tools at your disposal right on your phone. And the only thing that's stopping us from communicating all those ideas and talking about those ideas is literally our imagination and the ability to keep people's attention. And that I think is what good storytelling is about. It's about reaching someone else and conveying to them what is going on in your head and sharing that and then talking about it. Yeah, that's why YouTube is so fascinating to me. Yeah, that's what it is. And I'm frustrated that I don't have enough money and time to just devote to understanding how to craft a message. Yeah, to talk about with other people. That's going to make sure no one is wanting to chat. No, we're good. But that subject, like those subjects, that's what humanity, I think, is here for. To try to understand more of each other and more about what it is, what is the purpose of our lives on this rock. When you think about it, we're on a spaceship. We're on this planet-sized spaceship stuck in an orbit around the sun, and all of the sun's planets orbiting around it in this solar system are part of a big galaxy. And that galaxy is in the universe, flying through the universe with other galaxies, whizzing past us, alongside of us, or through us, or away from us, towards us, whatever. They're all in all kinds of random kind of journeys. And we are stuck on the planet, at this point, unable to freely observe what's going on to the nth degree. Like, I would love to have a telescope where, or a planet that I could kind of direct and say, let's fly over there. I want to see what's going on over there. That would be the ultimate adventure, I think, to, just freely roam. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy, man, I would love to be a part of something like that in real life. Imagine that, being part of a team where you are in this kind of ship that you can travel from one side of the universe to the other end and see things and experience things. Yeah, just love that. But and even in that, it's still the relationships of the people on that ship which make it something special or something boring and uninspiring. Same thing on the planet. Like, I'm sure there are people who look at me and go, yeah, boring, who the hell cares? And then there's others that would go, yeah, exciting, let's go on that adventure. And it's meeting those people that's the challenge. Like, how do you meet them so that you're with people who want to be with you and you want to be with them and have a really good time, as opposed to like in a work situation, you're there to get money. You're giving up your time for money, but if you meet people that you get along with, it's a bonus. It's really good. And if you meet people who you don't get along with, it can be really, really horrible. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why for me, I'm a bit of a loner. I could spend all of my days in the shack here, just pottering around doing what I love doing. I do need to meet with people, but I don't need to be with them all the time. So, yeah, that's what I mean about there's not enough money and time to devote to understanding how I could tell a story and open up what's going on in my mind to others who are interested in that stuff as well. Yeah, I just love talking about that stuff, like time travel in particular, what's possible, what's not possible, speed of light, getting around the universe, quantum entanglement. I love that stuff. Yeah, there's so much. So, yeah, that's the conflict. So, and then leading on from that, like if I did have the time and money, to get there, I'm working at Signub to try to make ends meet, but I'm also buying a lottery ticket. So I'm hoping I could buy a winning lottery ticket to be able to then just devote time to all the stuff that I want to do. And so Signub is not providing enough money, let's say. So do I keep on applying for movie jobs because that's where I've got a lot of interest, or do I try to get back into IT? But I know that if I go back into IT, I'm not going to have enough time to devote to understanding how to communicate the way that I would like to communicate, and via YouTube, making videos, talking about stuff. And I don't know what the best way forward is. I still don't know. So that for me, that's the conflict that I face pretty much every day. I don't want to go and work in places where I'm with people that have got a closed mind, don't think about things deeply, and have no interest in trying to make something funny or something deep or something meaningful. Yeah, there's a few people that I know that are like that, and I love being with those people. So, yeah, that's what I mean by having time and money, time and money. Because money and time, people talk about as being the same thing. They're not. Money is money, time is time, but they're kind of interrelated. You know, with that expression, money's time, or time is money. Like. In the context of work in particular. So if you're taking too long on something, they treat it as if that's a waste of money because you're wasting time. I put more emphasis on time than money now. I can make money literally very easily. I think any of us can, but it's more how ethically can you make lots of money. So, for example, you could be a drug dealer, you could be an owner of a brothel, all right? You make a ton of money. And you can do the brothel legally in Australia, in New South Wales, but ethically, I don't want to live that way. Like it's not worth it to get the money from that to then have supposed time. That's not for me. So I've got this dilemma of staying at Signub where I've got a little bit of money, but lots of flexibility and lots of time, which is great because I get enough money to pay the bills, but it's not enough to give up having to work at Signub. Yeah, I think everyone's got the same issue with that anyway, unless you love your job. If you love your job, then you're really lucky. That's really, really good. But I still am working out what the best way forward is to just give up and try and go all into YouTube. But I can't because you can see the numbers, they're not working. So I'm doing something fundamentally wrong. But I don't want it to be something where it turns into a job either. So I don't want YouTube to be something where it become a source of income where if you give it up, you kind of fall over and you're back in square one because you're spending all your time doing something you don't really want to do just to be able to get money. I like the idea of having Signub used for Signub to get money, and then the rest of my time I can do what I want. and that's not dependent on whether it's financially successful. It's purely about I don't care what the cost is. I just want to do it. Yeah, for me, that's what YouTube comes under. So that's question 3. All right. So that first question was the situation. Second question was what's the desire. So it's like setting up the wide angle view, the intro of the movie. Like for Star Wars, you see Luke working on a farm, whatever it is, on the planet Tatooine. So, setting the scene. What's the desire? What is it that I want? That's the conflict is next. What's the conflict? The conflict for me is I don't want to keep on working at something that takes up too much time where I can't devote to what I really want to do. And then there's the change. What's the change that should occur or needs to occur so that the conflict is resolved? And so for me, I'm torn between letting my life drift further into casual employment and putting in more effort to make stuff. So torn between the two, torn between do I go all out back into IT and spend all my time to get a lot of money to then take it easy, missing out on the time that I could be devoted to understanding and making more of the stuff I want to make? Or do I just go and not get any money at all and just go into making stuff that I want to make? Just let me check if anyone is wanting to chat there still. No. So yeah, that's still the conflict, but I think that's the change. There's the inflection point. There's kind of 2 roads for me to go down. I can stay on the path that I'm on now, subsistence living kind of thing, or go down the path that I was in, which is getting lots of money but no time. So I've got lots of time, very little money, or get lots of money and have very little time. And for me, that's why the money and time question or equation, if you like, for money and time being equal is not true. It's just not true. It's one or the other, a balance of one and the other. Yeah, if you want more money, then you've got to give up time. If you want more time, then you've got to give up money. I don't think we can have both, unless you're born into wealth. I think you'll have other issues if you're born into wealth. So yeah, there'll be other things. So that's the change, and I think there's a shift coming for me because I don't know what it is, but intuitively I can feel it, kind of thing. When I was working in Longworth Mackenzie in Bathurst as a soil technician, I'd have to go around and take cement samples from cement poured into not nuclear but coal-powered fuel stations, if you like. So the one that I'm thinking of is in Portland, in near Lithgow and Ilford, over that way, in Portland, in New South Wales. So there's a power station there, and it was being built back in the 80s, and I was doing the soil test, the concrete testing, taking samples of the concrete poured into the chimney stacks. One of the samples came back and failed. They had to undo a few ton of concrete that was poured into the chimney and then re-pour it in again. So it's very expensive when concrete fails, and it's a pressure test. So concrete stored in a bath for a month, sample, and the sample's taken out of that bath and then squashed in a compressor. The compression goes up to, at that point, was 9,600 psi, pounds per square inch. So a fair bit of pressure. And when the concrete was a good pour, it would explode. The sample would literally explode. And when it was a bad concrete pour, the concrete would crumble. It would crumble in the low 4,000 range psi. And that's what happened with that soil sample that I took. And so they had to undo and remove the bad concrete and put new concrete in. And I did that for about a year, and I saw a manager who'd been there for decades working in that field, and obviously an expert in that field. And then there was a job that had come up for the general manager's position. One of the general managers resigned or something like that, and so the position came up. and that guy put his hand up to be is a job application for that general manager's role. He'd been there for decades, but he lost out to a guy from fresh out of uni, probably 3 years out of uni, half of his age, and knew very little compared to the guy with all the experience. And I saw that firsthand, and that's when I realised I think it was 20 or 21 that I've got to get letters behind my name, and that's what drove me to go to Campbelltown to study at the University of Western Sydney to get letters after my name. And that has helped me through my career in IT, undoubtedly. Like I'm really happy with the financial kind of situation I was in. So I went to Perth for a year and got really high-paying jobs in Perth, comparatively for what I could have got in Sydney. So for whatever reason, the people in Western Australia in general look at people on the eastern states as being better than them, which they shouldn't, but they did. And I found myself in job interviews where I would not get a look in here in Sydney, but because of that view of eastern states being better, I was given opportunities to basically apply for jobs where I wouldn't have normally been able to apply for them in Sydney, but I was in Perth. And so it boosted my confidence, and it showed me different aspects of life, I guess, where you can act the role and get away with things if you're confident enough. That's all it gets down to. It's as simple as that. It's so sad, but anyway, that's the reality of it all. So how does it end? How does that relate? I don't know how this is going to end, because the other thing with my life is that I've pretty much once I've achieved my goal. So I wanted to get the goal of getting letters after my name, so BSc Comp, Bachelor of Science Computers. Once I got that, then I was thinking, well, that's the pinnacle. That's what the goal that I wanted to achieve. So I achieved it, and now all I've got to do is get the high-paying roles and just get more and more money and more stuff, more and more bits and pieces that show your success or whatever. So I went down that path, and looking back on it, I don't regret it, but there are points in my life where I kind of think I could have done things differently. Yeah. And so I don't want to kind of repeat that situation now. I want to, instead of taking a default path, I want to think it through and be sure what I'm doing is what I really want to do. Do I I'm okay working at Signub. I don't care what people think about me working in a place like Signub in the dock. Like, I'm not using my brain. I'm not thinking. I'm just turning up, doing what I'm told, taking my money, going home, and then putting in all the thinking and all the thought behind the video and audio work. There's a lot in audio in particular where I've had to teach myself. A lot of things, a lot of technical things that are going on, like time code, the microphones that you choose, the leads, the settings of equipment, the equipment itself. There's a lot of information around getting good quality audio, and especially the practical things about like where to put a microphone, how to attach a microphone. To this day, still there are people that will put sticky tape on people's bodies and sticky tape microphones to people's skin. Like, that is just not the way to do it. And I honestly thought there'd be more people that were aware that there's better ways to do that, but they're not. Like, they're just not thinking. It's so funny to me that I've only been doing this for a year and a half, and there's stuff that I've learned in the year and a half that people who have been in this for like a lot more years still don't know better ways of doing things. I mean, that sounds really, I know what that sounds like, but it's still the truth. So kind of not sorry how it sounds. So yeah, I don't want to keep on doing the same old and expecting a different result. And the same old, what I mean by that is fooling people, acting instead of actually knowing for real. Okay, this does work, this doesn't work, and it's not. I'm not saying that so that I can rip people off or get into positions where I couldn't normally get because I'm able to, bullshit my way through it. I'd rather spend more time and be really good at what I do and known to be really good at what I do and be genuinely happy with what I'm doing because it's the best I can do, if that makes sense. Where, I don't know. If there's a whole lot of stuff that goes in my head with this stuff. Like with taking on an IT role again for me, I don't know if I want to do that, in all honesty. I just don't know, because I know what it's like. I got to deal with basically narcissists all day, every day for weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months, years and years and years to get a whole lot of money to then, you kind of get jaded by dealing with those kind of people. And so you spend money to try and have a better life, a normal life, or build up good memories so you can get through those tough times. Like for me, in my personality, dealing with people who take shortcuts and just look for the short-term win and don't really want to make a change to make things better. They just want to make things barely good enough so they can get their KPI, so they can get their bonus, and so they can get lots of money. And good luck to them if that makes them happy. But that does not make me happy. Lots of money does not make me happy. I like the challenge in understanding things. So for things like what I'm doing right now with the video camera is like reading through the manuals. Seriously, I really enjoy reading through the manuals, understanding what the limitations of the machine is, and making the machine work to the limits where you can get the best results out of it. I just love that. I do the same thing with audio, do the same thing when I was studying, do the same thing with all the things I've ever been interested in. So skateboards, motorbikes, bicycles, everything and anything that's of interest to me, I try to understand it from inside out. And there have been many instances where I've read things where other people haven't, and it's helped me understand how to make the most of a situation because of the way things work or the way things are designed to work, and understanding how that all works. Probably doesn't make any sense to you, but it's making sense to me what I'm saying. And I'd like to get to a point in my life where I can definitively say this is the right thing to do, whether that's to stay at Signub and just get the minimum wage and then try to build up a good reputation in the movie world, or give that up, go back to IT, get a lot of money, and then work out what I'm going to do with all that money to achieve another goal. But I think it comes back to the same thing all the time, which is money's not going to make me happy. I know that, so I'm not interested in making lots of money. So therefore, I kind of answering my own question. I know not to go into IT to make lots of money unless it's something I want to do in IT. But I've got so much joy, so much love, so much satisfaction in doing the movies that I know that's where I want to go. That's where I want to spend a large proportion of the rest of my life, so that I can understand this better and produce something that means a lot more to me than doing anything else. And right now, that's where my heart is. So I think I'm helping myself get to a point here. So yeah, that's the change. That's the change that needs to happen, and the result now. That's the last question. Is the result? How does it end? And I don't know. I'm still working it through. So tune in for next time, so that I can hopefully tell you what the answer is for me. There you go. That was long and drawn out for a very quick conclusion. So on that note, it's almost goodbye. I'm going to just check one last time. Any questions? Hey, what's up? There's Fred Decker. Hey, Fred. I was going to type a response back to Fred. I'm stuck in this chat mode thing. Hello, Fred. How are you? Waiting on a response. I'm going to give a few minutes. That was 9:35 though, so I don't know what time it is now. Oh, it's only 2 minutes. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's what's going on in my little tiny brain is, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? I'm 60. So, if I'm lucky, my mum is 88 this year. So if I follow my mum's genetic makeup, my father passed away back in 91, but my mother is still kicking on. So if I live to, I'm good. Good on you, Fred. I'm good too. It's good to chat with you. Fred, where are you from, and how did you hear about this live stream? I'm interested to know. So, yeah, if I follow my mum's footsteps, she's 88. I've got another 28 years left. So we'll see what happens. But she's looking after herself. She does yoga. She eats well. She's got a double hip replacement done though. She had that earlier this year. So at 88, she got a hip replacement. That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, Fred, I'm very interested. I'd like to know, how did you find this this live stream? Was it recommended to you? Did you search it out? Were you hunting around for something to see? We'll see. We'll see what Fred says. Yeah, there you go. So my notes, I think we're done as far as my notes go. Yep, we are. So those are the questions though. So the situation, the desire, the conflict, the change, and the result. And apparently those 5 questions are all that is required to tell a story which has that beginning, middle, end, and a whole lot of detail in between all those sections. So I'll stick to this format for a little bit and see if it all works. From Frankfurt, Germany, found you by recommendation. Really? Wow. So that's what I'm saying. We are traveling around the world now, instantaneously talking to each other. And yeah, there's all kinds of ways to talk to each other. Yet there's this, I call it loneliness, but maybe it's just a desire for connection with other people. It's funny though, because when I meet with people, yeah, I'm probably giving away too much, but I find that I get not sick of people, but you know, there's only a small number of people that I enjoy being with for a long time. Yeah, I'll put it in those terms. And there's other people that are more gracious, I think, than I am. Anyway, now it is bedtime for me. So I'm going to say goodbye. We'll see you in the next one. Between now and then, take it easy, love each other, be kind to each other, share the love, and think deeply, and think a lot. And we'll catch up next time. All right. Take it easy. Bye for now. Why is that not working? I've just pressed my sound effects thing again. Oh, that's why. Goes on mute. Okay, take it easy. I'm going to end it with an applause because I'm assuming that people are happy to see me go as well. No, I mean that you're happy to encourage me. Let's put it that way. All right. See you all. Take it easy. Bye, Fred.